Got a 2010 Nissan Altima. It's a 2.5. Yes, the CV axle is leaking like crazy, but what it is, the power steering pressure hose is actually the problem. Let me see if I can find it. If you can look through here, right there, that's the cover. See if I can get some fluid to come out of it because it was collected all up in there. Probably got some to come out, but yeah, basically it was leaking from inside of there. So we're gonna work on getting that out. I do have a new pressure line. Just need to get everything cleaned up. I got some brake cleaner and a bunch of paper towels I'm gonna utilize to get this grease and get this mess cleaned up. Even though I'm making another mess, I just need it cleaned up so I don't get myself really dirty. So there's these quick connect tabs for the body clips that you would take off. You just got to utilize a flathead to get up in that little cove there and pry up on them, and they'll come out. This only had two. Like it's been replaced or tampered with before. Like I said, I want to get brake cleaner all through here. Get this cleaned up before I start pulling the stuff off. I got a 24 socket, 24 millimeter. That's actually for, I'm actually taking off the retaining bolt for the power steering pressure hose going through the pump. So that was almost a knuckle buster right there. So now that we got the line going to the pump loosened up, we're going to follow it over to the bracket right there. So where you see that, well, I got my hands on right here, this bracket is going to go to the rack and pinion. So you can access those 10 millimeter bolts. You can access those from the back. I'll show that, and you'll see my hand on the by the intermediate shaft towards the rack and pinion over there. It's a 14 to take off that threaded portion of the power steering pressure hose going to the rack itself. So two things we're going to move: the end going to the rack and pinion, which is a 14 millimeter, and a 10 millimeters used for the bracket, and a 24 is used to get the pump banjo off. All right, there's one bolt I did not mention that is, you have to follow the pressure line going from the pump up through towards the intake, and then so I'm just using the 10 millimeter ratchet here to break that bracket loose, that fastener. I got it loose. I just went from the top and took my left hand and went around the intake. So sitting on top of the motor, you take your left hand, go around the intake, and you can get your ratchet back there a lot easier. And then that was a 1/4 inch, and that had a joint on it. All right, I'm gonna take this same one, hopefully, and try to get those tins off. Lightly, I'll just using some Barris extensions and swivels to get that off if I need to. So just access it the best you can. Shit, I didn't get it recorded, but that's it right there. I just took a flathead. I was able to get under there and pinch one side, those little tabs right there, push it in and lift up. There's two on the opposite side of that one. And all right, I'm gonna get that. Made a mess everywhere. Take this. Man, what the hell is it? There we go. So get this 24 banjo bolt out, and everything should just come right on out on the. Oh shit. I'm gonna put this on first because I can tell you it's gonna be a pain in the ass. I'm just gonna pull everything out. Trying to keep it steady because everything is leaking. All right, here's the line right here. You can see it was leaking all on the inside there. I can cut this sleeve off, but I mean it's kind of gonna not serve the server purpose, but it was, I mean, it's fluid all in there. Let me cut it because I said I have a habit of saying everything I'm not going to do. I mean, it's just like crazy wet in there. Don't sound right. But I'm going to transfer this pressure switch onto the new one and get it installed back in reverse order. 27 millimeter. Here's a new part. Came from O'Reilly's. So with this, it came with new seal, and that seal goes on the end of the oh gosh, I can't think of it. The end of the high pressure line, and this goes to the rack and pinion side. So if you forget this, you're gonna have a lot of whining and potentially leaking. More than likely, you're gonna have some leaking going on. So I'll put this on first. If I can get it out. It does have a lip on the end, so it will hold it on place. This did not come with the new seal or O-ring for this pressure switch. Found a match, so I'm going to use this. It should work out perfectly fine. So basically what'll happen it's supposed to it's this is concave in a way, so it should, the seal's supposed to go into this valley here. If it doesn't, then I'll just go to something a little smaller, and this one's working perfectly fine, so we're good. I know this is not right, but I'm gonna go a couple taps and we're good. All right, I'm gonna get everything installed in reverse order. What I'll do is get this in going to the pump first, because that's gonna be the hardest, and everything else will follow. It's aftermarket, so things are not gonna go right like you expect. So I can already see that being a problem. So we're gonna, I'm gonna make that happen now. One more thing, make sure everything's tight, and I'm pretty sure they got like this so you can maneuver it plausibly, so you can get into its good position and tighten it up once you get it steady, or get into its resting position. So I mean, even then, originally I was thinking about just replacing half of this, but no easier than it is to pull the whole thing out. Might as well do the whole thing. All right, everything's back tight. I got the pressure line to pump to rack and pinion bracket, bracket on the intake, so we're good. I'm just gonna fill it up, and we're gonna check the leaks. Man, this is a dirty job, especially when there's so much fluid under there. There's a lot of methods people probably would employ to get the air out the system. It's not going to kill the pump just to fill it up. And well, since I overfilled, I could turn the wheel left and right. It'll pull some of the fluid down, and I'll start the car up, turn the wheel left and right. It'll get the air out the system. Even if it continues to whine, drive it. If it continues to whine after driving it, then something was installed improperly. Like that O-ring I was referring to was installed improperly. Very common. Not common, but it'll happen with Jeeps per se. Those are common. You'll have like a little whining. There's no leaks. It's just aeration getting into the pressure side, causing things to bubble up. The Honda Accords were pretty common for those. The V6 models, the O-rings will do that, and it'll cause a leak out. But let me start it up. Alright, looking back over everything. Hose is dry. See inside there, it's not leaking anymore. Checking by our connections. That's dry. Go down there to the rack and pinion. That looks dry. I think this is a good work. I think it's a good job. Back under the car. He's taking over the work now. Right here by the pump on the pressure side is dry. Switch is dry. Connection from the pressure hose to the metal line there is dry. And back over there by the rack and pinion, that's dry also. So I'm gonna hit this with another, hit some, gosh, can't get my words out. Hit this again with some brake cleaner, get everything cleaned up, and test drive it.